I realized the old painting was very selfish, self-centered. Now my painting's all about purpose and legacy, impact, make a difference, right? All these huge concepts. But through this, I'm finding more fulfillment in my life than I ever have.
Welcome to another session of Rock Your Money, Rock Your Life. My name is Rock Thomas, your host and whole life millionaire mentor. And as usual, we take you down the path of discovering what is another way or vehicle that you can rock your money so you don't have to continue to exchange time for money. So I've got a dear friend and a dear mastermind buddy, Cody, that's in studio with us today. So welcome to the podcast, Cody.
Thanks for having me, Rock. I really appreciate it.
And you know, I was not expecting this, but I do appreciate that you did shave your head for the show. You know, talk about wanting to be in rapport.
Yes, I did it just for you.
Yeah, well, okay. For those of you that are watching, if you know Cody, you know that it's a recent new acquisition. And so we're happy that he's joined the club and stopped resisting.
Yes.
That being said, all in jest, I want to jump right into the fact that you found a really good way to help people kind of what I call win the money game. And before we get into that, I want to just give people a little bit of a backstory, you know, where you grew up, what you went through and how you got to this place. Because most people, maybe 3% of the population actually play in the field you're playing in. And so it's going to be great for them to hear it. But how did you get there?
Well, I appreciate the opportunity to be able to share my story. It's a recent passion that I've been able to discover and add to my purpose in life. And that is to share some of my life experiences and the things I've been through, some of the hard knocks and those trials and tribulations. I've made the choice each time, thank the Lord, to come out the other side stronger, right? One of my pet peeves is the victim mentality. Don't get me wrong, there's lots of victims out there, but you know, we go through these trials and tribulations in life for a reason. And I believe it's to make our armor that much thicker, to make us that much more powerful in battle. So I'll just tell you, I mean, I'll summarize my how I grew up. I grew up, I would say lower middle class to maybe unfortunate, right? And not only from a financial standpoint, but also just as far as mentors in my life, a father I could look up to. I kind of grew up in an abusive household. I mean, bless my father. I wish the best for him. But anyway, so tough times there. Got my high school girlfriend pregnant. So I had my first child when I was 19. I am 43 here, April 25th. And so I have a 23-year-old son. I also have a 19-year-old daughter. I married my high school girlfriend. We made it 20 years, bless our souls, but it didn't make it. But we learned a lot through it. Believe it or not, I was fixed for 15 years. I got a reversal because I met my permanent wife, Lindsay, who I'm married to now. So I also have a 15-month-old. And I mean, I can get into, you know, where I lost 90% of my net worth in 2007. You know, I was 28, you know, with an 8-figure net worth to 29 with a 7-figure net worth. The only reason I didn't go broke, it's not because I was smarter than the next guy. It was just because I was developing in different areas of the country. So one area of the country got hit before another. And so I could make moves, right? So, I mean, I've been through, I've had to go in front of a federal judge related to the IRS because I was accused of something called structuring. Ended up, that all passed away, went through lots of fear of going to prison for 5 years, you know, and self-medicating through grabbing the bottle, right, and getting drunk 4 nights a week. And I mean, I have all kinds of stories of different challenges I've been through, which have made me better today. But of all of that, the one story I want to tell you right now is the story of my baby girl, Avery, at 15 months and what she has done for my life. Okay. I told you at the age of 19 that I got my high school girlfriend pregnant and I got married. I had plans to head off to ASU, and instead I went into the flooring union so that I could get medical insurance to pay for my child. All right.
Okay.
Well, I created a vision for my life back then. I call it a visual painting, and it was 40 and free. Okay. By the age of 40, I was going to have time freedom and financial freedom. And this visual painting I had created, it was this lifestyle that probably so many people dream of, right? And beautiful vacations and beautiful family and beautiful home, beautiful car, beautiful this, that, and the other. Well, what happened was I met Lindsay, okay? This would have been 5, 6 years ago. And this girl, this wonderful woman, caused me to reconsider that visual painting I had for almost 20 years. Because what it was, she'd been never married, never had kids. Okay. And so, I mean, obviously anybody that she married, in my opinion, they needed to bless her with a child. Right. And so, and believe it or not, her father was an investor in my business for 15 years. That's how I met her. Okay. She's 8 years younger than me. And I committed to her parents and to her that if I put a ring on it, it means I'm willing to have kids again. They knew I'd been fixed for a decade or whatever. So here's what happened. I made this commitment to this woman to marry her. And I had to go through I went through lots of therapy and counseling. I had to totally reprogram my vision I had for my life. And here's what I had discovered. Is that for many, many years, I have the gift of a giving heart, okay? And for many years of my life, I've given substantially on a financial level. But I had not given much as far as my time, my education, my purpose, my life experiences. I was lacking that side of the giving heart. And through Avery Girl, I have now repainted this picture for my life. And I realized the old painting was very selfish, self-centered. Now my painting's all about purpose and legacy, impact, make a difference, right? All these huge concepts. But through this, I'm finding more fulfillment in my life than I ever have. And sure, I have many, many blessings aside from that, as far as from a financial level in my business and what we teach. But when I talk about my backstory a little bit, that's the story I like to share the most, is the visual painting that I tore down and the new one I'm creating.
Yeah, well, that is a lot to unpack. That is great. You know that Napoleon Hill talks about a spirit of harmony. And, you know, you're part of a mastermind, as I am, and there are many out there. But he talks about anytime that two people come together or more in a spirit of harmony for a specific outcome, then this third mind is created, this unknown entity is there. And I was listening to an old version of what he was talking about, and he talked about, and I never looked at it this way, that, you know, your significant other is that first alliance. And if you are out of discord with that person, you are in strife, you are arguing, you have, I don't want to say an enemy in your house, but you have somebody that is not pulling on the same side with you, then you are out of harmony and everything is affected. Does that make sense?
Absolutely it does. Absolutely it does.
And yet nothing more beautiful than to be in harmony.
It's been you know, when you mention a battle at home, I can so relate to that in my past relationship, that we weren't in unity as far as the vision, right? And the legacy and the life and just core principles of who we are. And so that really resonates with me. And it makes me think of a story that Rock, I grew up in Oregon, and I moved down here to Paradise Valley, Arizona in September of last year. And one of the biggest blessings of moving down here, I'm not saying that people need to move in order to find this, but what has been one of the biggest just impacts in my life of moving down here is me being very purposeful, very intentional about my circle of influence. People that can get to me, people that can touch me, right? And it's allowing my life to bloom in a way that I have this saying I like to say, which is believe, action, faith. Okay. First, we got to believe in whatever it is we're wanting to achieve. Okay. Next is we got to take action. And third, and I would say even most importantly, is to have faith in the result, meaning that you can get up every morning and hoe your field, but the vegetation is not up to you. You can think it is, but the vegetation is, you're not in control of it, right? And when I got my arms around the idea that I'm not in control of everything, it brought a certain peace into my life that to me is priceless. And I lose touch with it all the time. I'm human, right? I try to control things, but when I try to recenter myself in the fact that I'm not in control of everything, it allows me to live in a certain level of peace that it truly is priceless to me. So anyways, there you go.
Yeah, no, I like that. I like that. Certainly taking a different direction than I thought, but I like where we're going with it. Makes me think of a quote called, "Judge your day not by your harvest, but by the seeds that you plant."
Yeah.
And that's the part you're responsible for. And then God, the universe, the weather, Mother Nature, your competition, they will provide the crosswinds. And then you do your best to take care of your field with the resources you have. And when you recognize you have a lack of a resource, then you go get some coaching or some mentoring. We were talking about golf swings before, right?
Yes.
And if you're not getting the result that you want, no shame or blame. However, maybe you need to bring in some new information in feedback, like you're doing with your swing and the golf tech, I think it's called, or a coach. And so many people resist that. I lead this group called M1. We've created 75 whole life millionaires. And one of the things I've recently started doing is asking people, who's coaching you? What are you spending on getting mentored? And you're investing in treating yourself to some golf lessons. Does that feel good? Do you like that?
Absolutely, I do. Absolutely.
Do you have any kids that you like give them swimming lessons or tennis lessons or piano lessons or anything?
I give lessons on different things, but not those specific topics.
Right, but you would feel good about treating your children to some mentorship.
100%. Yeah.
So, what's funny though, Cody? Most people, when they look at investing in themselves, or they look at it as a cost. Well, I don't know if I want to take that seminar. It costs a lot, Rock. I don't know if I want to hire somebody as a coach. It costs a lot. I've invested millions in mentorship, and you know what? What if people looked at it as a treat? They could hire Cody to help them develop some real estate investments. And rather than looking at it as a cost, they go, yay, Cody gets to be my coach. Cody, tell me what to do. Cody, I'm stuck. Cody, is this normal? Cody, where are you? You're supposed to help me through this, right? And then they create this relationship with you that they're treating themselves to your wisdom.
Yes. Well, and I would almost argue that it's more of a blessing for me when we have that opportunity than it even is for the student. Like, we're helping them achieve whatever their legacy is, right? We're a part of their path, part of their course. Well, they're just as much a part of my legacy, right? The fact that I have this opportunity to have this impact. And so this other thing I like to talk about is PIF, which is purpose, impact, right? And fulfillment. Figure out your purpose. Through that, you can have impact, and through impact, you can have fulfillment. And I don't think anybody can have true fulfillment in their life unless they're having an impact.
I don't.
Yeah. And so, I didn't figure out, Rox, you figured out personal development way before I did. I only figured out personal development a couple of years ago. And I'm living the best life I've ever lived in the last 2 years, no questions asked.
Yes.
And I finally decided that, hey, I don't know everything, right? There's opportunity for growth. There's opportunity for me to become better than I currently am. There's people that I can get around that are going to inspire me and teach me. And so as I started teaching others, it's only because I started allowing myself to be taught first.